Pure risk is defined as something that can only result in harm or nothing will happen and is unlikely to be profitable. The type of pure risk is dash.
Smart pick. Employee risk is the correct choice. Which one is the correct component of risk? Good job. Your answer events, likelihood, impact, source works well here. Characteristics with regards to risk are:
Right again. Risk taker, risk moderate, risk adverse is a valid answer.
banks' exposure to risk stem from their unique position as financial intermediaries between dash and dash in the economic system. Correct. Fund provider, fund user is the right answer. A strategy to avoid risk by not carrying out or continuing activities that could give rise to the risk is called a strategy dash.
Great thinking. Avoidance is the right choice.
Activities in managing risks by identifying, analyzing, assessing, minimizing, and trying to eliminate unwanted risks are: excellent choice. Understanding risk management is the right answer. Risk assessment consists of: exactly. Identification, analysis, evaluation makes sense, and it is right choice. Dash envisage overall objectives and ensure the implementation of risk management in Islamic financial institutions. Excellent. Board of Director is a brilliant choice. Risk appetite refers to dash or dash of risk a bank is willing to take in order to meet its strategic objectives. Smart move. Amount level is an accurate answer. Definition of risk. Great job. Effect of uncertainty on objectives is the accurate answer. Providing guidance on the characteristics of effective and efficient risk management is the aim of dash. You chose risk management principles, and it is correct. The following are several stakeholder components that need to be involved in risk mitigation. Well reasoned. All are correct is the correct choice. What is the second step of the risk management process in Australia, New Zealand Standard AS NZs 436 Good thinking. Identify risks is the right answer. Dash is the process of identification, analysis, acceptance of uncertainty in investment decisions. Clear logic. Your choice risk management is sound and 100% true. The acceptable degree of relative variation in the achievement of a goal is the definition of dash. You're right. Risk tolerance is the correct answer. The risk management process based on ISO 31 Halosen for 2018 consists of 6 processes, namely accept. Well picked. Risk control is the correct answer. Which of the following is not included in ComTreasury's Orange Book risk management process? Perfect. Risk profile is the correct choice. The implementation of enterprise risk management causes the achievement of objectives to be: right choice. Safer is the best answer. Based on ISO 31000-2018, risk management objectives are implemented in organizations, namely: nice selection. Create and protect value is the correct and valid answer. Risk can be defined as dash and severity of the event and undesired consequences of a dash. Nicely done. Uncertainties. Activity is a solid answer. The influence of uncertainty on the achievement of company goals or targets is called dash. Valid point. Risk is true. Which of the following answer is not referred to risk management process? Solid response. Risk transfer is a valid choice. The risk-based audit implemented at PT-PJB is a series of risk management frameworks. Sharp thinking. Implementation is the right choice. Dash risk involves storms and other acts of nature that are beyond anyone's control. Strong choice. Natural is the right answer. What is not included in the principles of risk management based on ISO 31000 is dash. Well done. Transparent and inclusive is the right choice. What are the explicit aspects of risk that need to be considered in decision-making? Bravo! Strategic, operational, and risk management aspects is the answer. The correct steps or sequence in the assessment in the risk management process are: correct response, risk identification, risk analysis, risk evaluation is the most accurate answer. Ensuring that treatment plans have been implemented effectively is the goal of DASH. Nice work. You chose monitoring and survey, and it is correct. A risk strategy by which the company concerned handles its own risks is called DASH. You got it. Your choice risk retention is right. According to the old perspective, what is the relationship between risk and return? On track. Higher risk yields higher returns is the correct answer. In implementing risk management, risk is managed and becomes the responsibility of. Excellent. Each unit is a brilliant choice. Risk treatment options that can be used to manage risk are as follows, except dash. Nicely done. Identifying risks is a solid answer. Risk management principles according to ISO 31000 2018 with serial number 1R. Nice selection. Value creation and protection is the correct and valid answer. How does the uncertainty, usury in gambling concept become a risk to society? Smart move. Involved in excessive and unhealthy risk is an accurate answer.
The nature of risk for banking institutions can be categorized into two types.
Right choice. Financial risks and non-financial risks is the best answer. Operational risk, reputation risk, and Sharia risk are classified under dash. Good job. Your answer non-financial risk works well here. The effect of uncertainty on achieving company goals or targets is called. Correct. Risk is the right answer. Risk is the uncertainty that impacts the target is the understanding of. Solid response. Risk is a valid choice. The following is the external factors exposing banks to risk accept. Perfect. Bank's efficiency is the correct choice. The following is a step-by-step approach to risk management. Accept. Right again, justification is a valid answer. Outsourcing some of your company's work can be a way of dash risk. Bravo. Transferring is the answer. The benefits of implementing are several points below. Except strong choice. Weaken departments that are at risk is the right answer. Risk terminology with regards to eliminating the risk completely. Great job. Risk avoidance is the accurate answer. Failure of the borrower to pay its debt obligation may refer to. Correct response. Credit risk is the most accurate answer. The following are the principles of risk management, except dash. You got it. Your choice status is right. What is not included in the risk treatment strategy, namely dash? You chose non-mitigation, and it is correct. The following are the purposes and benefits of ERM, except dash. Valid point. Minimize budget volatility is true. Risk can be measured using two aspects. What are these aspects? Nice work. You chose likelihood of occurrence and impact on targets, and it is correct. What is the purpose of soft infrastructure in risk management? Excellent choice. To develop a risk-aware culture is the right answer. What is the meaning of customized risk management principles?
You're right. Adapted to the type and type of company is the correct answer.
The following is a framework for risk management, except dash. Sharp thinking. Feasibility is the right choice. What are the main functions of management in risk management? Smart pick. Controlling the risk management program is the correct choice. The following are risk identification techniques, except dash. Exactly. Professional risk certification makes sense, and it is right choice. What is the main responsibilities of Chief Operating Officer? Well reasoned. Develop the risk management policy and keep it up to date is the correct choice. The risk level classification in the Telkom impact table is. Well done. Very high, high, medium, low, very low is the right choice. Making a disaster recovery plan is a form of risk response. Clear logic. Your choice reduce impact is sound and 100% true. The use of third-party partners is a form of risk response. On track. Transfer is the correct answer. Public relations activities are a form of risk response. Well picked. Reduce impact is the correct answer. What are the main duties of managers in an organization? Great thinking. To anticipate and manage risks is the right choice. The final objective of the CIMA risk management cycle is. Good thinking. Information for decision-making is the right answer. The level of risk is assessed taking into consideration. You got it. Your choice likelihood, probability, and impact is right. The level of risk that we can still accept is called. Exactly. Risk appetite makes sense and it is right choice. The following are risk management techniques except. Nice selection. Transpose is the correct and valid answer. What are the goals of organizational risk management? On track. To maximize organizational value is the correct answer. The risk classification in Telkom's risk profile is. Good thinking. Strategic risk, financial risk, compliance risk, operation risk is the right answer. Below are the conventional views on risk, except. Sharp thinking. Risk sharing is the right choice. Loss prevention programs are a way of dash risk. Nice work.
You chose reducing, and it is correct.
What items include risk management controls?
Perfect. Evaluation feedback reporting is the correct choice.
The risk value after control is called dash.
Correct. Current risk is the right answer. What is the purpose of risk management? Great thinking. All true is the right choice. What is the content of ISO 31000-2008?
Bravo. Principles and guidelines is the answer.
Risk management planning starts from.
You chose create a vision, mission, and goals. And it is correct.
Insurance is a form of risk response.
You're right. Reduce impact is the correct answer.
Things that can pose a risk are dash.
Smart pick. Reason is the correct choice.
Risk evaluation. Risk equal to dash, dash.
Correct response. Probability of the event. Potential severity is the most accurate answer. Training is a form of risk response.
Well reasoned. Reduce likelihood is the correct choice.
The risk level we expect is called. Right choice. Expected risk is the best answer.
Some ways to manage risk are dash.
Excellent choice. All of the above is the right answer.
Risk criteria should reflect. Right again. Organizational values, goals, resources, consistent with policies is a valid answer.
Risk occurs if we have.
Well picked. Objective is the correct answer.
How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format. Clear logic. Your choice contact Narayan Changda is sound and 100% true.